Steps to Bar Admission in Texas. Information for first-year Texas law students. Presented by the Texas Board of Law Examiners. First, I want to congratulate you on admission to law school. The application process starts at the beginning of your first year with the declaration of intention to study law. Admission to the bar will come after law school graduation, but you will file your declaration soon. All students who begin law school at a Texas law school must file a declaration. The purpose of the declaration is to give you early notice of things that may be of concern to the board so that you can correct any impediments to your licensure. The timely filing deadline is October 1 with a filing fee of $190. You can file as late as concurrently with your bar application with an additional late fee of $150. This is not recommended as it could ultimately delay your licensure if your character and fitness investigation has not been completed. Admission to the bar is a two-step process. The declaration is the first step, and you will file yours by October 1 of your first semester. If you have transferred into a Texas law school from an out-of-state school, you have 60 days from matriculation to file your declaration. Looking ahead, the bar exam application is the second step, and you will likely sit for either the February or July 2023 bar exam. The timely filing deadlines are listed here. You can also find bar exam deadlines on our website. You may also plan to take the uniform bar examination in another state and transfer that score into Texas, but if you do so, you may also have to file a declaration. The Board of Law Examiners is a judicial agency under the authority of the Supreme Court of Texas. We conduct character and fitness investigations of all applicants on behalf of the court. The Supreme Court will certify applicants for admission to the bar. The law requires that you file a declaration to initiate the investigation. Visit our website for more information, including frequently asked questions, specific information about character and fitness, including the board's guidelines for character and fitness determinations, the rules governing admission to the Bar of Texas, and information about the hearing process. Anything that you disclose on your declaration is confidential. All of the board's proceedings and records regarding character and fitness are closed to the public and confidential. We will not release your information to anyone. There are 3 exceptions. If you provide us with written authorization to disclose your information to a third party, if we receive a valid subpoena from a court of competent jurisdiction, and we can also share information with the Office of the Chief Disciplinary Counsel and the Texas Unauthorized Practice of Law Committee. The first thing you will do is create an Atlas account through the board's website. Atlas is our application processing system. You'll register, create an account, and record your username and password for future use. You'll submit your declaration and pay online by credit card or e-check. Your Atlas account is the primary way the board will communicate with you from the time you submit your declaration until you receive bar exam results and licensing information. Once you submit your declaration, your file is assigned to an analyst. Your analyst name will appear in the upper right section of your Atlas homepage. You will use the blue Create Message button to communicate any questions to your analyst, and their responses will appear on the right side of your homepage. Add no reply at ble.texas.gov as a safe sender in your email inbox to ensure you do not miss any messages. Once your analyst identifies any items that are missing from your declaration, they will send you notices of missing items, and those notices will appear on your Atlas homepage. Each missing item will have a specific deadline. If you need additional time to provide any requested document, contact your analyst and request more time to respond. Once you have submitted the missing item and your analyst has reviewed it, the notification will be marked as completed and closed. You must submit with your declaration a completed authorization and release form and a certification form which certifies that your answers are true and correct. If these are not completed properly, your declaration will not be accepted. You must also provide a complete copy of your law school application with all attachments. If you do not have a copy, you can obtain one on the LSAC website or through your law school registrar. You must provide a birth certificate, USCIS documentation, or other documentation demonstrating your ability to legally work in the U.S. You may also have other documents required to be submitted due to the disclosures you make on your declaration. You must complete a mandatory fingerprint check with the DPS and FBI through our third-party vendor. Even if you have completed a fingerprint check before for another agency or employer, or if you have a high-level security clearance, you must complete a fingerprint check for us. Agencies may not share the results of these checks. The answers to your questions are often contained in the instructions, so make sure you read them thoroughly. Once you submit your declaration, you can message your analyst through Atlas. But if you have questions prior to submission, contact us at information@ble.texas.gov or at 512-463-1621 and leave a message in the general mailbox. Your questions will be routed to an analyst for response. Don't seek advice from other law students if you have questions. Make sure you fully disclose everything on your declaration. Don't minimize or fail to disclose information even if it is embarrassing. Oftentimes, things that may not be issues on their own can become issues if you fail to disclose them or misrepresent them. Demonstrate honesty in the application process to avoid this. The declaration requires detailed information about any college attendance and your employment history, either in the last 10 years or since your 18th birthday, whichever period is shorter. This includes unpaid internships. Review the information you disclosed on your law school application to ensure you disclose all colleges and employers you are required to disclose. You must provide your residence history, city, state, country, where you have resided for at least 3 months within the last 10 years. Do not leave gaps. Street addresses are not required. You must provide 6 character references who are not related to you, who are not listed as your supervisor under the employment history section, and who are not fellow law students. For your employers and character references, you must provide full contact information, including a mailing address, an email address, and a telephone number. Please review the FAQs on our website if you have questions about disclosure of past employers. The purpose of our investigation is to identify character traits that may result in injury to future clients, obstruct the administration of justice, or violate the Texas rules of disciplinary conduct. Often, those traits include dishonesty or a lack of trustworthiness in carrying out responsibilities. On the declaration, we inquire about the following issues: criminal history, and there is a separate slide focused on that. School discipline at your undergraduate or graduate institutions, whether or not you believe there's a record of discipline in your file. Contact those schools and request records from them if you need more information. We often receive information during our investigation about discipline that was not disclosed to us, even minor discipline such as having a candle in your dorm room or an unauthorized pet. Non-disclosure of criminal history or school discipline to your law school or the Board of Law Examiners may become a separate issue. We look at chemical dependency and any related misconduct, and there's a separate slide focused on that. And we look at dishonesty or lack of candor in your answers. We look at compliance with court orders, such as court-ordered child support. If you were ordered to pay child support, are you paying the correct amount to the correct entity? We look at significant past due debt. Note that the debt must be past due. We do not consider past due student loan debt, but we do look at consumer debt and any other past due debts, such as unresolved civil judgments, tax debt, or other debt. If you disclose past due debt, you will be required to upload a current credit report from Experian. We look at failure to file or to timely file a federal tax return. We look at failure to file or timely file payroll taxes if you owned a business. Please note that if you filed your tax return according to an approved extension by the IRS, that is not considered failing to timely file a tax return. Make sure that you read the criminal history questions carefully. If you are unsure whether you have any criminal history that should be disclosed on the declaration, review the wording of the questions. Question 6.1 asks, have you ever been convicted, placed on probation or deferred adjudication or pretrial diversion so it has no time frame it asks ever. Question 6.2 asks, within the last 10 years, have you been arrested, cited, or ticketed for any violation of the law? So there is a specific time frame. The full text of the questions plus question 6.3 appears on the declaration. Exercise due diligence. Check with courts, arresting agencies, and even your parents for information on past criminal history. Any offenses involving alcohol or drugs must be disclosed. You may omit any Class C misdemeanor traffic violations, but be aware that failure to appear and failure to maintain financial responsibility or no insurance are not considered minor traffic violations and must be disclosed, even if the failure to appear stemmed from an unresolved minor traffic violation. Visit texasfailureToAppear.com, a DPS website, as a resource to determine if you may have had failures to appear. If you have a charge that was expunged or sealed, you do not need to disclose that on your declaration, but you should ensure it was expunged or sealed by viewing a copy of the order expunging or sealing it. Do not assume it was automatically expunged. Charges that are under an order of non-disclosure need not be disclosed to the board. However, we may consider them, and we usually see those on your fingerprint results. If you have felony offenses or a felony conviction, please see Rule 4 of the Rules Governing Admission to the Bar of Texas and contact our office with specific questions. You may be prohibited from filing a declaration for a specific period of time. You may need to amend your law school application to include information you didn't disclose when you applied, such as criminal history or school discipline. Do this as soon as possible to correct any deficiencies. Each law school has a procedure and process for handling amendments. Board staff may also direct you to amend your application if we uncover information you should have disclosed in the course of our investigation. When you submit an amendment to your law school application, provide your analyst with a copy of your amendment as well as the law school's response to your amendment. You may need to amend your declaration to add additional information, or board staff may direct you to do so. You should also amend your declaration to provide any new updated information. You can amend your declaration by going to your Atlas homepage and clicking the blue Amend Application button at the top of your homepage. Go to the specific section of information you want to amend, correct the information, save it, and then click the green Submit Amendment button. Section 7 on the declaration, specifically questions 7.1, 7.2, 7.3, and 7.4, is the fitness section. Fitness is the assessment of mental or emotional health as it affects the competence of a prospective lawyer. We are looking at misconduct as it relates to a mental illness or condition and not just a diagnosis. We look at present fitness to identify anyone who may not be able to carry out their duties to the public, courts, or the profession. Question 7.1 says, within the last 5 years, have you abused, been addicted to, or received treatment, including court-ordered treatment, for the use or abuse of alcohol or any other substance? We look at treatment, rehabilitation, and periods of abstinence. We may look at other disclosures in your declaration that indicate chemical dependency as a potential issue, such as a series of alcohol or drug-related arrests or incidents. You may be required to undergo a chemical dependency evaluation from a licensed mental health professional of our choosing. If chemical dependency is the only issue found and you do not have 2 years of abstinence, then a probationary license must be granted. The Texas Lawyers Assistance Program is available for assistance and offers financial assistance through the Sharon Crowley Trust. Question 7.3 asks, do you currently have bipolar disorder or any psychotic disorder that in any way might affect your activities of daily living or ability to practice law in a competent, ethical, and professional manner? If you are unsure whether you should answer yes or no to this question, consult your treating professional and show them the wording of the question. We look for present fitness and any related misconduct, and not simply the diagnosis. Effective treatment is important to demonstrate current fitness. Please note the specific wording of the question. We do not require disclosure of anxiety or depression. Once you submit your declaration, you will receive an acknowledgement of submission through Atlas. We have 270 days or 9 months to complete our investigation. Occasionally, we may request that you extend that deadline if we need more time to complete your investigation. At the end of the investigation, we will either issue an approval of your character and fitness, which will appear as a green approved in the middle of your Atlas homepage, or we may issue a negative preliminary determination letter, or PDL, on character and/or fitness. If a PDL is issued, then a hearing may be held if requested within 30 days, or you may be able to complete curative measures to resolve the issues. Make sure that if you have questions, you contact the board directly. Review the wording of the declaration questions, visit the FAQs, and read the instructions. If you have specific questions, then contact us by telephone or email. If you have specific questions about serious matters that may result in a PDL or a hearing, then you may request that the inquiry be routed to the Director of Character and Fitness. I recommend creating your Atlas account as soon as possible and beginning to work on the declaration to allow time to complete it accurately. Again, contact us if you have any questions and visit our website. Thank you.